But right now, I want to get to Brian Judy, NRA ILA's Montana State Liaison, who has some good news. Brian, how you doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm good. Glad you can be with us on the program. And late on Friday in Montana, the state Senate took up the issue of constitutional carry, right?
Yes, they did. Yeah, House Bill 271.
And how was the vote in the Senate, Brian?
Well, it passed the Senate. The good news is it passed the Senate 29 to 21. And let me just add that we're not calling it constitutional carry in Montana.
Okay.
It is, but the Montana state constitution has a specific reference that nothing here in the state constitution shall allow for the concealed carry of firearms. So, the legislature has the ability to regulate, which they have where, this bill is an effort to loosen the regulation. So it's just a little twist. Just wanted to make that clarification. Because of the Montana State Constitution, we call it permitless carry in Montana. But essentially, it is what you described.
Permitless carry. Okay. And so the gist of this is this now goes to the governor's desk, right?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Again, another little twist, kind of a good news, bad news thing. So
Okay.
here's just a little background. The bill was drafted. It's House Bill 271, and it was drafted such that if you qualify for a concealed weapon permit, then you don't need a permit. So we're trying to narrow it down to people who are law-abiding citizens. So it went through the House in that form. And one of the criteria for being eligible for a concealed weapon permit is to take a training course. So essentially, you would have had to take a training course under the provisions of the original bill. Well, it was amended in the Senate Judiciary Committee, so that now not only do you have to take the training course, but you also have to possess evidence of completion of the course when it's on your person. So essentially, you still have to carry a piece of paper with you, which is of concern to a lot of NRA members and a lot of gun owners.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, so what's next, Brian?
What's next? Okay. I've been talking with the sponsor of the bill, and what we're looking at doing is the bill has to go back to the House for concurrence. Passed the House, went to the Senate, was amended. So because it was amended, it has to go back to the House now for the House to approve the Senate amendments. It's called concurrence. What the sponsor and I have been talking about is having the House vote to not concur on the Senate amendments. And what that will do is it will send it to a conference committee, and a conference committee would hammer out the differences between the House and the Senate versions. So that is what we're looking at doing, and what we'd really like to do is when it gets into the conference committee is make it even better than the original bill. And what I would like to see is if you are legally able to own and possess a firearm, then you can carry it without a permit. More along the lines of what Alaska provides, or the situation in Vermont.
Okay. And so what do gun owners need to be doing right now, Brian?
Well, I would say for now, the best thing to do is to just sit really tight. And it's likely that this bill could come up in the House. The concurrence vote could come up in the House sometime in the next, perhaps the next week or so. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened this week. So we really don't want to put pressure on them to support this bill because we hope to improve the bill. If the sponsor of the bill goes to the House, on the House floor, and says, I want a vote of no concurrence, then they'll probably do that. And now let me just add that this is the same sponsor, the same bill sponsor who carried our self-defense bill in Montana 2 years ago, and the exact same thing happened. The Senate kind of messed it up. And when it came back, this sponsor, Representative Creighton Kearns, great guy, great supporter of freedom and the right to keep and bear arms, asked the House to not concur. They did. They went along with him. It went went into a conference committee, and they fixed it. And then, so looking one step ahead, assuming this happens on this bill, House Bill 271. They vote to not concur. It goes to conference committee. That's the time when maybe I need to come back on and we need to have a follow-up discussion, and that's when we need to really fire up Montana gun owners and NRA members to communicate with both their House members and their senators, because the bill, the conference report, will be going back to both bodies for approval. That's when we'll hopefully need gun owners to really ring the phones and fire up the emails.
All right. Well, Brian, again, thanks for coming on the program tonight with the update, sir, and look forward to talking to you again very soon.
Okay, will do. Thank
you, sir. Brian Judy, NRA ILA's Montana State Liaison, joining us here on Cam and Company.